our lives for one another. Love abide in anyone who has the world's goods and sees a brother or sister in need and yet refuses to help. Little children, let us love, not in word or speech, but in truth and action. This is the word of God for the people of God. And may God add a special blessing to the hearing of this word. Let us go to God in prayer. God, we thank you for this time. We thank you for the preaching moment. We ask that you would open our eyes, ears, hearts, and our minds, that you would make fertile the very soil of our souls, so the planting of your word might find depth within us and grow to bear good fruit for the kingdom of God. And may the words of my mouth and the meditations of all our hearts be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, our rock and our Redeemer. Amen. I was excited to see this particular passage, and I was speaking before the worship service about how much I love the letters to John. They're not read as often as I think they could be. Of course, you know, there's a lot in there, and so decisions have to be made. But the letters are worth reading. They're not very long, so if you get a chance, I encourage you to go and look at those. And I saw that this was one of the readings in the lectionary selection of today's readings for this particular occasion. And it's a much longer passage that's in the lectionary, so I just chose a small section of it to focus on. So anyway, let's get to it. We are Open Table Christian Church. We are Open Table in that we are an open and affirming community, a diverse community that seeks to accept and affirm all of God's children into this body. And that means that we don't just tolerate or we don't just accept, but that we do in the most real way affirm the embodiment of anyone that would approach this table. And that is despite any of the demographic designations that the world outside these walls might use to divide us into various groups or camps. So whether you are gay or straight, whether you have any one of the variety of gender expressions, no matter what your race or ethnicity, whether you're old or young, able or disabled, no matter what your embodiment is, this is an open table. And this is central to the identity of this particular community in which you sit. We are Christian in that we believe that God is love, and that God's love is revealed in a very special and particular way, a very special way in the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus, that we know something and we believe something specific about God's love when we look and examine and engage the life of one Jesus of Nazareth, that is distinct and different than the other ways in which love is proclaimed in this world. And we are a church in that we seek to embody the teachings, the example, the lifestyle and love of that Jesus in the way that we work in the world. So we are Open Table Christian Church, an open and inclusive and intentionally diverse community centered on God's love, which is revealed in a special way through Jesus, that tries to embody that love and live it out in this world. And as such, we are a body of people that recognizes with our eyes and with our open, compassionate hearts certain injustices that are in the world in which we are planted. Because as a church, we don't believe that we're separated from the world in a way that we just ignore and exist independent of the society and context around us. But we believe that we are supposed to engage the world around us, as different as we might be. And when we do so, we see certain injustices that break our hearts. And at Open Table Christian Church, over the course of, I think, the entire time that we've existed, there have been a variety of things that we have talked about, either in our conversations or in our elders' meetings or in conversations that happen before or after the worship services. And one of those issues is homelessness in Danville, Kentucky. We've identified this, we've talked about this, and we believe that a church like us, an intentionally open, inclusive, diverse congregation of people that believe fundamentally all are invited to this table, as a community that keeps at the center of its identity that love that is made manifest in Jesus in a special way, distinct from all the other expressions of love in the world, that seeks to embody that in the community, we believe a response is needed in light of our sisters and brothers, our siblings under God in this community who are experiencing homelessness. And because we are who we are, we know that the answer is love. We might not know the specifics of what do we do, what should we do, what ought we do, what can we do, what do we do right here, right now. That still might exist just beyond the horizon in a fog of uncertainty, but one thing we know in our hearts is that love is the answer. And that is what brings us to this letter that we just read today. Because in this letter, the writer talks about how we know what love is. And so we get a two-part definition about love in this passage. And the way that the writer exposes us to those two parts of the definition is to give us a statement and an antithesis. An antithesis would be like the opposite. So he says, this is what love is, this is what it's not. This is something about love, this is something not about love. So the first part is this business about generosity and sacrifice. So specifically what the writer says is that we know love by this, that Jesus gave his life for us and that we ought to give our lives for one another. Now, we know the story of Jesus, and we know that he literally dies at the end of his story, that he is crucified and so forth. And so much theology revolves around the gruesomeness of the cross and the flowing of literal blood. But let us not forget that the giving of one's life is not a singular event, or at least doesn't need to be a singular event at the end of one's days, but rather the giving of one's life can be a lot like the way Jesus lived all of his life. And it would be easy to see how the way that Jesus laid down his life was a way that he lived every moment of his ministry. That he lived with generosity towards those around him, and he lived with a sacrificial generosity. Now this is important because the people who believe in Jesus believe, of course, that there is something divine about him, that he is the second person of the Trinity, that he is the Messiah, that he is chosen by God. And so when we think about that which Jesus sacrificed in his life, clearly, if he is the one who is anointed as God's chosen one to lead God's people, then he must have sacrificed what he could have had. Jesus could have had power and acclaim. He could have had the privileges of politics. He could have had the people, the popular masses supporting him and cheering him on and putting him in a high exalted position. But Jesus shunned all of that. The way that it's said in the letter to the Philippians is that though he was equivalent with God, he did not see or exploit his equivalency with God, or he did not see his equivalency of God as something to be exploited, but rather poured himself out and became a slave into the form of a slave, that he lived in this sacrificial way. In other words, he didn't take advantage of what he could have had, but he gave all of that up so that he might serve what he believed was the heart of God, so that he might include those who were excluded, that he might touch those who were untouchable, that he might heal those who were broken. So he lived in a way that where he sacrificed what he had, he sacrificed what he could have had, he sacrificed the things to which he was entitled so that he might serve the people that was around him, this generous, this sacrificial way. The antithesis of that is given there as an example as well. How can love abide in a person or in a community who has things, who has resources, who has material goods, who has things that could be given away, and yet refuses to give them away to someone who is in need? And then the other thing that it says about love here is that it says that love should be in truth in action, as opposed, so the antithesis is word and speech. So word and speech is what you're witnessing right now, right? I can get up every single Sunday and I can talk and talk and talk about love. And I can talk passionately about how we should do things. And I can try to get everyone riled up because I get a little bit of a euphoric hit every time I can feel the energy of the room. And when you're motivated and you're inspired and you're going to go out and you're going to change the world, that just gives me a little bit of something as a preacher that makes me want to come back and do it again Sunday after Sunday after Sunday. But what the writer says is that that's not love. It might look like love. It might pose as love. People might mistake it for actual love, but real love is in truth and in action. And so that's what we're trying to be, is a community, a church of truth and of action. Very good, very good. I was like, oh my, I might have to repeat that part there. So what does an example of this look like in our day and age? Because I want to get to the conversation point of this particular sermon. So an example might be that there's a lot of churches out there, I'd say most of the ones that I've ever interacted with, all the ones that I've ever served, that have this desire for things to be more vibrant and alive. And so I've been in churches where people have specifically said to me, and I'm a younger pastor with a young family and so forth, and they think that I fit the bill for this particular request, but they say that we want young people in the church. We want young families in this church. We look around, and especially in the disciples of Christ, we notice that we are the oldest, demographically, the oldest congregation in the denomination in the United States of America. And so we know that we're all going to die out if we don't get young people into the church. How do we get young people into the church? And after absorbing that and digesting that for a while, I might have made a suggestion. Well, how about we change a little bit of what we do? No, we can't change that. Well, how about if we alter this? No, we can't do that. And so it's like, well, if you don't want to change the choir and you don't want to change the men's group and the women's group, and you don't want to change the budget, and you don't want to change the political structure of the church, and you don't want to change the way decisions are made, and you don't want to change anything about the architecture itself. It's kind of like when people say, well, we don't need a wheelchair ramp because we don't have anyone in wheelchairs. It's like, well, maybe the reason you don't have anyone in wheelchairs is because you don't have a wheelchair ramp. And so what I would say is, okay, so you don't want to change any of these things, but you want to change and that you want to have young people here. Yes, exactly. So you want everything to be exactly the way that it is, but with just more people, young people. You've nailed it, exactly. So you want change without changing. Exactly. And there is no change without changing. And particularly in an organization like a church congregation, everything is connected to everything else, even things you didn't think were connected. And so if you want to change something over here, necessarily you have to change stuff over here. And that's when the reality of sacrifice begins to emerge, because people realize that they have to sacrifice something in order to get something else. And what it says here in the text is that Jesus laid down his life, and that is the way that he showed love for us. And so that if we are to express our love, then by definition we have to be willing to sacrifice generously for it. Now, the thing is a lot of times we think, well, we're going to sacrifice something. It's going to be painful. It's going to be unpleasant. It's going to be something I don't want to do. But if it's for something that we love, then it's not going to be this chore that we think that it is. And just because we have to sacrifice this thing over here to get this over here doesn't mean that it's a zero-sum game. What it means is that it's going to look completely different. So where I'm going with all this is that nothing is going to change in Danville, Kentucky, unless things change. We can't have things exactly the way that they are in Danville, Kentucky. We can't be living the lives exactly the way that we live it right now. We can't be organized the same way that we are organized. We can't move around and congregate the same way that we move around and congregate. We can't have the same position and opinions that we hold about ourselves and that we hold against other people. We can't have things be the way that they are right now and expect things to change. And for the homelessness situation in Danville, Kentucky to change, it means everything else is going to have to change. It doesn't mean that we have to let go of everything and enjoy nothing else. It just means that it's going to look different. And it's probably going to be something that we can't anticipate, which is what makes it scary to have to let go. So what is it that we have to sacrifice? What is it that we have to let go of? What is it if we love the people in this community like I know that we do in our hearts as our sisters and brothers, our siblings under God? What is it that we're going to have to sacrifice? How is it that we're going to have to change our lives in order for things to change for those that we love so very much? This is a much different paradigm than we just go along and live our lives exactly the way that we do, but we write checks, right? Or we just volunteer a little bit of time, or we just go and deliver a bunch of food and then the problem is solved. That's not the way that it works. For everything, the reason the way things are the way that they are is because of the way that they are. The way that I live my life is connected to the way that other people live theirs, and vice versa. All right, so I want to move this to a discussion, and as I do, I want to ask this provocative question, which might seem like a non sequitur, but
there's got to be more than going back and forth, from doing right to doing wrong, 'cause we were taught that's who we are. Well, come on, get in line right behind me, you along with everybody, thinking there's worth in what you do. Then like a hero who takes the stage when we're on the edge of our seat, saying it's too late. Well, let me introduce you to amazing grace. No matter the bumps, no matter the bruises, no matter the scars, still the truth is the cross has made, the cross has made you flawless. The cross has made you flawless. No matter the hurt or how deep the wound is, no matter the pain, still the truth is the cross has made, the cross has made you flawless. Could it possibly be that we simply can't believe that this unconditional kind of love would be enough to take a filthy wretch like this and wrap him up in righteousness? But that's exactly what he did. No matter the bumps, no matter the bruises, no matter the scars, still the truth is the cross has made, the cross has made you flawless. Has made you flawless. No matter the hurt or how deep the wound is, no matter the pain, still the truth is the cross has made, the cross has keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. Ooh, oh, you say I'm loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I'm strong when I think I'm weak. And you say I am held when I am falling short. And when I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours. And I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe the only thing that matters now is everything you think of me. In you I find my worth, in you I find my identity. Ooh, oh, you say I'm loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I'm strong when I think I'm weak. And you say I am held when I am falling short. When I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours. And I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. Oh, I believe. Taking all I have and now I'm laying it at your feet. You'll have every failure, God. You'll have every victory. Ooh, oh, you say I'm loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I'm strong when I think I'm weak. You say I am held when I am falling short. When I don't belong, oh, you say I'm yours. And I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe, oh, I believe, yes, I believe what you say of me. I believe.
Mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall, telling those lies, pointing out your flaws. That isn't who you are. That isn't who you are. It might be hard to hear, but let me tell you, dear, if you could see what I could see, I know you would believe that isn't who you are. There's more to who you are. So when it's late, you wide awake, too much to take. Don't shift and forget that in the pain, you can be brave in the same. I see you dressed in white, every wrong made right. I see you rose and blue. start again. Brothers, we can start again. Give honor till the end, yeah. We can start again. I see you dressed in white, every wrong made right. I see a rose and blue at the sight of you. Irreplaceable, unmistakable, incomparable, darling, it's beautiful. I see it all in you. So priceless, yeah. I see it just right, right. I see it all in you. I see it just right, right. I see it all in you. We can start again. I see it just right, every wrong made right. I see you rose and blue at the sight of you. I see it just right, every wrong made right. Oh, so priceless.
There is so much bad news in the world right now. But no matter what, we have good news, and that good news has a name, and that name is Jesus Christ.
There is good news for the captive, good news for the shame. There is good news for the one who walked away. There is good news for the doubter, the one religion failed. For the good Lord has come to seek and save. He's our rescuer. He's our rescuer. We are free from sin forevermore. Oh, how sweet the sound. Oh, how grace abounds. We will praise the Lord, our rescuer. He is beauty for the blind man, riches for the poor. He is friendship for the world ignores. He is pasture for the weary, rest for those who strive. Oh, the good Lord is the way, the truth, the life. Yes, the good Lord is the way, the truth, the life. He's our rescuer. He's our rescuer. We are free from sin forevermore. Oh, how sweet the sound. Oh, how grace abounds. We will praise the Lord, our rescuer. We will praise the Lord, our rescuer. We will praise the Lord, our rescuer. So come and be chainless, come and be fearless. Come to the foot of Calvary. There is redemption for every affliction. Here at the foot of Calvary. So come and be chainless, fearless. Come to the foot of Calvary. 'Cause there is redemption for every affliction. Here at
sadness from wherever you've been. Come broken-hearted, let rescue begin. Come find your mercy, oh sinner, come kneel. Earth has no sorrow that heaven can't heal. So lay down your burdens, lay down your shame. All who are broken, lift up your face. Oh, wanderer, come home. You're not too far. So lay down your hurt, lay down your heart, come as you are. There's hope for the hopeless and all those who've strayed. Come sit at the table, come taste the grace. There's rest for the weary, rest that endures. Earth has no sorrow that heaven can't cure. So lay down your burdens, lay down your shame. All who are broken, lift up your face. Oh, wanderer, come home. You're not too far. Lay down your hurt, lay down your heart. Come as you are. Come as you are. Fall in His arms. Come as you are. There's joy for the morning. Oh, sinner, be still. Earth has no sorrow that heaven can't heal. Earth has no sorrow that heaven can't heal. So lay down your